Hello everyone, welcome back to YKR Reviews. As we're getting into the end of the month, we continue the Hellraiser franchise review with Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. So let's get into it. So with Hellraiser 3, they sort of up the campiness. It's not the worst of the worst, it's pretty entertaining, however the acting is just very questionable in certain scenes in this movie. No more Kirsty or Julie or anybody like that, so you're introduced to brand new characters. I thought it was fun, but some of the Cenobites in this movie, it was just laughable, but we'll get into all of that here, because with the movie, the opening sequences, you get introduced to this character called JP Monroe, who's sort of like this nightclub owner, billionaire, millionaire, whatever he is. He goes into this gallery where he sees that pillar, which was introduced at the end of the previous movie. So this pillar is more like developed now, and he buys it so that he can take it to his nightclub. And so we sort of get introduced to like the new version of Kirsty called Joey. She's like a news reporter. She's in the hospital getting disappointed with like the role she's got. Like the news aren't what she wanted it to be. So she's wrapping up her like news article, news video thingy, and as she's like leaving the hospital, this teenager, this male, is being dragged in on a stretcher with chains being dangled out of him and getting into like this room. And that's where we get introduced to the second character, Terry, who basically witnessed all of this. And so Joey's trying to find out what's going on. She's asking Terry, who's like saying that she's got no idea, and then you see the sequences of like these chains going out of like flying out of nowhere and this character's head just exploding. Of an incredible opening sequences, an incredible scene to watch there. So because of like this circumstances, because of this situation, Joey invites Terry to like stay with her, and that's where she basically tells her about the element configuration, this puzzle box. So Joey's now doing this investigation, doing this research. She comes across this little video where you've got Kirsty basically explaining what the puzzle box is, and Kirsty is basically explaining that in order for like Pinhead to be returned to hell, they need the puzzle box to basically force him back into hell. And that's when we get now introduced back to JP Monroe, who's at this nightclub. He gets introduced to this female character who, props to her acting skills, because the lines that she was delivering was just so laughable. Her acting skills just was not on par, I'll be honest. So like they hook up and then they have like this little argument there, and basically these chains come out of the pillar and just take this female character and just kill her. And now the reason why these chains were able to come out was because earlier on in the movie, this mouse comes and like bites JP Monroe and cuts him, and the blood ends up on the pillar, so the pillar sort of gets brought back to life. So then as we fast forward to this particular scene, these chains come out and grab this female character and just instantly killing her. And that's where you get introduced to Pinhead here.
Jesus Christ!
Not quite.
So once again, with the same plot, same briefing, is that Pinhead basically convinces JP to bring him more victims, so that by killing them he can bring himself into Earth, so that he can bring hell on Earth. So then as the movie progresses, what was frustrating in terms of this movie too was that with Joey's character, she kept getting this constant flashback of the Vietnam War, trying to figure out how her father died. And it wasn't just like one or two scenes. Every moment they could try, they would bring in these flashbacks and bring in these sequences of like her father, trying to see how he died. And that's when you get introduced to like Pinhead's human form, Spencer, who brings Joey into the vision, and he basically explains that after like World War I, he lost faith in humanity, and so he decided to seek out other worldly pleasures, and that's where he got introduced to the puzzle box. Now, I liked this. I liked how they brought that element of like World War I and like what this had done to him, and that's the reason why he like turned to the puzzle box, how he became Pinhead. So I really liked that little element that they brought into like his character there. And now, however, because of like the events that took place in the previous movie, because his humanity is not with Pinhead, Pinhead will just wreak havoc on Earth. So he needs Joey to like mesh Pinhead and Spencer's together to bring like balance there. And so basically, like, as the movie's progressing, Terry and Joey have like this little argument. Terry misunderstands what Joey's intentions are, so she goes running back to like JP, where he just, as I mentioned, like the acting there, he's like needing Terry to like come closer. Like, he's just standing next to the pillar. He needs like Terry to come closer so that he can like send her next to the pillar to like kill her. But this just backfires, and she ends up having JP get attacked by the pillar, and that's when Pinhead finally comes to Earth in his like Pinhead form, basically. And that's when we get the, I would say, entertaining but also laughable sequences, because you've got Pinhead coming in and just killing everybody inside the club, in this nightclub. You've Ice Pick just getting shoved into somebody's mouth. You've got the DJ with CDs killing him. Billy the bartender just gets like wrapped with barbed wire. Just hilarious kills. And so Joey sees this on the news, but we find out that the TV wasn't even plugged in. It was Pinhead setting a trap. So Joey goes in and she sees that like her cameraman is also dead. She sees all these people dead around the whole nightclub. They have snooker balls in their mouth, eyeballs in the glasses, just destruction and chaos everywhere. She comes face to face with Pinhead. And so she manages to like escape, manages to like get out of the nightclub, and that's where we get introduced to like these Cenobites, and they're funny, but I just enjoy the previous ones, to be honest. Like the Cenobite with like her cameraman with like a camera as a head and his eyes. You've got like the DJ with like CDs stuck to his head now, the bartender with the barbed wires wrapped around him. And so like they're across like the street causing havoc, chasing after Joey. The bartender is shooting fire out of his mouth, blowing up like the police cars and killing some police officers. They're chasing after Joey, but she manages to like elude them. She ends up going to this church where Pinhead arrives and just destroys this church.
Demons aren't real. They're parables, metaphors.
Then what the fuck is that?
How dare you!
Thou shalt not bow down before any graven image.
And you have that little interaction between the priest and like Pinhead, and just entertaining lines thrown in there. And Joey ends up arriving at this construction site because she's running away from Pinhead, and that's when you get these two new Cenobites, which is, you come to find out, is JP Monroe with these, I'm not sure what they are, these things inside his head, and Terry's as a Cenobite with just like a cigarette sticking out of her neck, and she's just poking Joey with cigarettes, which I don't get the point of that. So all these like Cenobites there is just, my favorite one is like the CD player with like CDs on his head. It's like, since he's a DJ, but like JP's one, the barbed wire one, like they're not as strong as like the other ones there, but they are like surrounding Kirsty. They are surrounding Tiffany. Not Tiffany, bloody hell. So they are surrounding Joey basically. And once again, like the ending and how she's able to defeat them is basically she solved the puzzle box and they all got sent back to hell, which is just like a weak thing for me, as like each movie is that they're able to defeat them so easily just by like solving the box and just sending them all straight back to hell. Pinhead, however, tries to trick Joey to try and get like the element configuration. However, Spencer arrives and like they start forming and merging back together, and Joey's able to like use the box, turn it into like a weapon where she stabs Pinhead in the heart, and that's where she's able to kill Pinhead. And then you've got like the ending of the movie, in which she hides the lament configuration inside the cement there, and you get to see this building with all the lament configuration designs all around the building there, which does come into play in the next movie, so keep an eye out on that. But for me, in terms of this movie, it's not the worst one by far. However, it just lacked a little bit compared to the first two. It is a fun watch and a fun movie, but the Cenobites just disappointed me there. Plot, in terms of the plot though, I enjoy the plot, because once again you have victims being brought in for somebody to come back to life, so that was a fun element. But overall a bit weak in terms of the ending again there, but it was a fun watch for me. I would definitely recommend this. The first three is a fun, enjoyable ride there. But if you've seen the movie, let me know down in the comment section below what you thought about it. If you enjoyed it, did you like it, what you thought about the Cenobites as well. Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. So much more coming your way, so keep an eye out on the channel there. But again, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for listening. This is YK Reviews.